Hey everyone, Anthony here, AFT Dog Training. I have to apologize that I thought this was taping the whole time because I was on the community page and I was showing live footage of us introducing remote communication to Reese. And I said, I'm going to release them and go on the business page live so everyone else could see it. And apparently the internet wasn't working. So it was just buffering the entire time I was talking. So I apologize for that. So what I'm going to end up doing is bringing Reese out again. We're going to put him in place. I'm going to show you how we're going to introduce the remote collar to him. I'm going to show you how Scarlett's going to come out of the crate, right? And this is how your dogs should come out. And then I'm going to put her in place, and the place command and then down. And I'm going to do that as well using remote communication. And I'm going to use a verbal command which stimulates the dog's ears, right? So it gives a force of airway, audible sound, and then the force from that stimulates the dog's ears. Why do I bring that up? Well, I've had some comments lately on some of the pages just because some people are brainwashed. And it's okay to have an opinion and make a comment, but at the same point, I'm going to leave the comment up so everybody else that looks at it says, what an idiot, you know? But that's part of just leaving nonsense, you know? So when we're talking about being brainwashed from like using the positive or force-free and saying that, we're talking about that not being true, all right? So it's okay to have that opinion, but at the same point, some people have opinions that literally there's people out there that do not believe World War II happened. That's one. And then there's another opinion out there that believe that we didn't land on the moon. That's fine to have those opinions, but unfortunately it's not factual, right? It's not backed up by science and facts. So I was having a good conversation on Instagram with somebody about this. I mean, they said they read over 30 books on dog training and behavior, dog behavior, and all of it backs positive only and force free. How are we different? Well, this is where I'm writing a book, right? And there's books out there to back up what I'm saying and science and reality of what I'm saying. So when we're talking about dog training in the whole, you know, if you're saying it's force free or positive only, they're saying it in a book, but they're not showing you. There's no evidence. Right? It sounds sweet. It sounds fantastic. I know balance trainers out there too that bash balance training all the time of their own training because they want it to sound good and positive and force-free and happy-go. But that's not true. You know, that's like trying to lie to you that, you know, all the schools, all the kids are great and none of them cause any problems. That's not true. You know, there's kids causing problems. There's things happening, and even at my own kid's school, not good. That's the truth. It's reality. It's not every kid is behaving as they should, you know. So to say that that's going to work with dogs too and just a positive, that's a lie. That's why I was reading books too. Like every dog could be a canine good citizen on the positive only side of things. No, it can't. That's a lie. How dare you even give somebody hope that their dog could be a canine good citizen when it doesn't have it in them. I was talking about this today. I'm never going to be Michael Jordan or Mike Tyson. It's just not happening. Right? It's not happening. Some people are that more skilled in doing what they do, and some dogs are too. But you're not taking my dog, Little Guy, who's semi-feral, and making him the best agility dog. You know, it's just not. It's not happening. So I don't want to lie to the public. That's what we're about. So we're dealing with force-free or positive only. Like we were going back to that. It's a lie to the public when you're actually using force and audible sound to stimulate the dog's ears. That is a fact. So how is it force-free? How is it positive only? The same thing with a clicker is stimulating the dog's ears. It sounds good to say that you're that, but it's a lie. So that's kind of like me saying I'm a magician. I'm going to disappear right now. I'm back. It's a lie. I didn't just disappear. It sounded cool that, hey, I'm a magician, but it's not It's a lie. So think about that when you're looking at dog trainers. I cannot tell you the amount that we have here. We have a dog here that they did nothing but following force-free dog trainers here in the Lehigh Valley, following positive-only dog trainers in the Lehigh Valley, loving the dog, just doing force-free, dog on a harness. Guess what the dog did? Severely bit the child. Hospital. Okay? I cannot tell you the amount of times that we heard this story over and over again. All right? So, think about that. The kids are getting discipline in the house. The dog gets none. Nothing. Dog gets to do what they want to do. That's force-free and positive-only training. Where that comes from, and you may have heard me give this spiel before, but it comes from saying that dogs don't need a leadership because nothing was passed down from the wolf that say that you need to dominate them or be a leader. They use the word dominate, but it's, you don't have to be a leader. You don't have to be a parent or anything. Just let the dog do what they want. We know how that exists with our own kids. You can't be your kid's best friend and at the same time be a parent. So the same thing applies to the dog. You have to be a leader to the dog somewhat, because then the dog will take advantage of you. Look at all the love and force-free, positive-only training they did for this one dog here that severely bit the kid. Dog took advantage. I have this conversation all the time. Dog was going to be brought back to the shelter. Instead of wasting your time and money with force-free or positive-only training, actually learn about dog behavior, dog training, things that we go over, right? So I can ramble on all day about this. I'm going to bring my dog out, and if your trainer can't do this type of stuff, find a new dog trainer. I'm serious. Doors open. I can release her. Scarlet, break. Okay? Scarlet, place. Scarlet, down. Good. The least aversive dog training tool is the remote collar. That's a fact. And I back it up with science and video evidence right here. So it's not saying that we didn't land on the moon. It's not saying World War II doesn't exist. This is not an opinion. This is backed up with evidence. You're seeing it here, right? So if you had a dog on a leash, and I don't care if they had a harness on or anything, and there's any tension on that leash, congratulations. You had more aversive method than what I just did. That's a fact. So I was on a 6 on the remote collar when I asked her for this. I like to just provide evidence of everything. So some people come on, a lot of the force-free and positive-only dog trainers, especially in the Lehigh Valley, some of them down on 611, they'll send their trolls onto my page to just bash and say negative stuff. And I leave the comments up because they sound such like an idiot. But they never post, their people that they're following never post this stuff. Not on YouTube. We have a lot of videos on YouTube. Not on Instagram. Not on Facebook. Nowadays, you should be doing this. If you're a dog trainer, you should absolutely be showing off your work. If you're not, I'm telling you, go somewhere else, because they're hiding what they can do. And we do not want to hide anything from you. Just making sure it's still recording. The other reason I have this door open is Reese likes to chase cars, chase after motorcycles, and I want him to feel comfortable around these noises. So again, when you're training for the crate, I'm just putting the leash on. It's something simple as opening a door. Now, I had people come on and complain about crate training. Again, it's opinion. It's not fact, unfortunately. They're saying that the crate is a prison. Well, if you're saying that, you absolutely have to say that the police canine officer's dog that's crated, absolutely crated, is putting their dog in a prison. You cannot have it both ways. Just because my one dog has a buckle collar on and the other one has the same exact buckle collar on, and just bashing the other dog for wearing the same exact buckle collar, there's something wrong there, right? So just because the dog that's a police canine officer's dog is in a crate or a military dog does not mean that you get to tell everybody else that uses a crate that they're putting their dog in a prison. That makes zero sense. So the crate train, it's just something as simple as opening and shutting the door. And I also reward. So when the dog is there, staying there, I give them a reward. Sometimes they don't want it, like this guy. So then I'm going to say his name and release him. Reese, break. Good boy. Let's go, break. Now this guy has a lot of confidence issues. From what we're seeing, he's already been through a board and train or training somewhere else. I believe it was positive only, force free. This is the product. So you're seeing like timidness, scared, fearful, balance training, confidence. Don't give a crap about what's going on here. That's the difference. So I want you to relate it to your upbringing and kids. If you basically, when you talk about force-free or positive only training, you are never to say the word no. Literally on their websites here in the Lehigh Valley, it says that. So imagine you raising your kid or your parents said no to you. That makes them a child abuser. That's what they're pretty much saying on the website. Saying no to your dog is close to animal abuse. What? Like, come on. If we didn't say no in sports, I coach Little League. It would be, you would never play the game. Ever. It would just not happen. That's a fact. So, all right. Back on the 6. Reese, place. A little bit of leash pressure. Tension off. Remote collar is off. As soon as he does that, good. Give him a treat if he wants it. And I'm going to see if he just hangs out there. Good. I'm going to ask him for a down like we did in the community page live, but he's still learning remote. Just the first day. We've been training with everything else, so he's feeling the sensation. So, Reese down. I'm going to do it again. Reese down. I'm going to give him a little leash pressure because sometimes they get confused. All right. So, Reese down. Good boy. You see that? Then he gets some treats. I'm going to show you how I release the dog. So this is where, like, if the trolls come on and they're saying this and that, I leave the comments up because they sound like an idiot, right? But I want you to see the work. So unless they're providing evidence of the trainer that they're following or they've been to, it's nonsense. So this is for other trainers out there because a lot of my colleagues that are, coined themselves as being balanced trainers like myself, they get so much hate and cyberbullying from the other side that this video is for them too. Just, you can delete it, but you know what? You can leave it up there and let other people see how idiotic they sound when you're providing evidence, All right, so I'm going to release her. Scarlet, break. Good girl. He's learning, remember? So, Scarlet, crate. She goes in the crate happily. You can give her a treat for that. Now, as he's learning, don't get frustrated with this. This is something new to him. So he likes learning with other dogs present. So that's why I had her there. So he saw her release. That doesn't mean that you release. So this is how, with my dogs, I can say their name, release them one at a time from a placemat. He's going to get there. Reese, place. Pressure's on. No leash pressure at all. So remember, if you had a leash on the dog and there was tension, it's more tension than the remote. That's fact. So scientifically, I just put the dog in the placemat using the least aversive training tool, other than like giving an audible just place where you're stimulating the dog's ears. I want you to understand that unless you're dealing with a deaf dog, every time you say something to the dog, you can stimulate their ears and they not like it. So if you scream in their ear and say no or say their name, that stimulation in their ear is not a good sound. It's just like us having an air horn in our ear. That could be a horrible experience. So That's where, like, on the tone feature on the remote, some dogs really don't like that beeping noise. Beep, beep. They don't like it. You're probably not going to force them into liking the noise if they don't like it. And why would you want to force them into liking that noise? So just keep that in mind, that no matter what you're doing with dog training, if it's a clicker, you're stimulating their ears. So it can't be force-free and it can't be positive only, right? Even if you're using food, you're stimulating their senses with nose, their saliva glands. So if it can't be force-free because you're providing food that's stimulating themselves and causing a stimulation to them. So that's why I pick apart all this stuff. You're not going to win that argument. I'm not going to let the public be brainwashed. So when we're dealing with releasing him now, I'm going to say his name and try to just have him come off with the food. On the community page, you see that I was training him and I was just silent because the dog is hearing. I'm stimulating his ears this whole time. He's waiting for his name in the next cue, right? Reese, break. Good boy. Good boy. Let's go, break. Good boy. So remember, this timidness is not from us. This is from force-free, positive-only type of training. All right? We want to get him in a better mindset. He's improving. So, good boy. So now we're going to put him back in the crate. I want you to see how that enters. Reese, crate. Good boy. You can give him a treat. Good boy. Unleash it. Dog's in the crate with the crate door. You shut it. When I'm training them, I like to also give them a treat after I shut it. Good boy. There's the evidence, folks. So I like to just provide you with live footage, videos, show you everything that we do, rather just tell you, all right? So you'll see some trainers just, especially nonsense veterinary behaviorists and stuff in this area, they'll just write up something. They won't show you this because they're afraid to. They have no confidence in the dog training work that they have or dog care. None. So that's where we're confident in our training program. We show you guys the work, show you girls the work, and we post a lot on YouTube. We're having our website redone. I'm really excited about that. We have some really cool features coming there, and to our training center. So stay tuned for that. There's a reason. I can't thank all of our supporters enough. There's a reason why we won Lehigh Valley Styles Best Dog Care, right? In 2016, 17, and 19. Best Pet Care. That's what we won, all right? There's a reason for that. And I can't, thank you so much for supporting us. I have the other ones hanging up somewhere around here too. But there's a reason why we have those. And that's because people love our service, and we are very proud. We have dogs. My dogs are tattooed on my body. I love dogs. I love animals. I have pets too, other pets, turtles, iguanas, hermit crabs. I've had cats before. We're going to be getting chickens. So, we have some frogs over here. We have rats. It's having a good relationship with animals in the whole and understanding the psychology of the animal, understanding the psychology of the dog. When you've been doing it this long and I've been living it, I don't care what anybody says in a book. I know from my experience and what I've seen, and I know what works. Right? That's what makes us, I think, the best dog training, dog rehabilitation place in Eastern PA, at least. I'm very humble, but I know that we do our best. I'm the vice president of a shelter. I'm the head trainer at various shelters in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York. Not just myself, but my team. And we have a fantastic team, and we want to continue to help save dogs' lives. At the shelter I'm a vice president for, since we implemented our training, we have not euthanized a dog for behavior issues in almost 3 years since we implemented our training. It's going to be on the 3rd year. That is think about that. PETA euthanizes 90% of their dogs a year. The national average of any shelter is the return rate is 50%. 50%. Most of that is not because they went to some balanced dog trainer. That's because they fell for the brainwashing thing that the moon doesn't exist, or the moon landing never happened. It's because that they just went to the positive only training, or force free training, which I say is like saying that the World War II never happened and the moon landing never happened. It's nonsense. It's a lie. Of course, those things happened. But just if you're interested in our stuff, I want to end this video. Check out our webpage. We're having it redone, aftdogtraining.com. Complete the inquiry form on the homepage. That sets you up to getting into our program. The reason why we have that is similar to a doctor. If you want to go to a new doctor nowadays, they usually have you fill out a packet, and then the doctor has to make a decision on whether they accept you or not, right? So it's a process. If we could read through it, instead of being on the phone for like 2 or 3 hours, we're able to read through the paperwork and then see what program is best for you and your dog. All right? So that's why we like having that set up. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Stay tuned for the stuff that we have coming. I'm sorry this is a longer video, but just wanted to give you some ideas of who we are, what we do. I show you the work. It can't be, disagreed with. You see what we're doing. And you see the crate training. Crate is one of the safest things for the dog. I had a question on there too. I'm rambling again, but the dog is finding a crate, and when it comes out of the crate, it starts destroying the house. Well, did we go through these steps? What was the discipline and training of the dog coming out of the crate? What were the rules? What were the boundaries? Are there any? So I'm going to answer that question on our Q&A session. That I donate money out of my own pocket to the shelter or rescue that we're sponsoring for that Q&A session. So if you have a question, send that to Anthony@afurrytailcometrue.com. And I cap it off at $100, but it's $5 a question. It goes directly to the rescue, and I answer your questions, whatever it is. So Anthony@afurrytailcometrue.com. Email me, and I will be able to answer that question. I have a lot of questions so far, so that is coming up. I think it's next Friday. So take care, everyone. Have a nice day.